Welcome to Craft and Geek, the podcast about making cosplay and geek life. I am one of your hosts, Eric, also known as Coregeek, and along with me is
Jackie Craft. Hi, guys.
And today we have a very special guest, none other than Mr. Evil Ted Smith. If you're not familiar, if you're not familiar with Evil Ted, you might be interested to know that he's worked in Hollywood and lived down there for close to 30 years. He's done everything from touring with Rob Zombie to working on the cult classic movies The Guyver. He's done work for K&B Studios, Stan Winston's, worked on movies including AI, Jurassic Park 3, Fifth Element, Titanic, Starship Troopers. He's got a long resume. And he also, last but not least, wrote and directed his own film, Guardian of the Realm. So
that is correct.
That is a long list of awesome things,
very productive.
my friend. So Evil Ted, welcome to the podcast.
Guys, welcome to it. And this is wonderful. Thank you so much, number one, for having me on. And also, number two, thank you for you guys doing this. I think the idea of doing a podcast for people, this creative, the whole cosplay community, I think is a great idea. And you guys pushing forward, making this happen.
Yeah, and you were like right at the tippy top of the list. We had to have Ted on. You can't have a maker-related podcast and not have Evil Ted Smith. Like, get out of here.
Yeah,
thanks so much.
That is definitely true. And one little known fact, well, maybe it's not a little known fact if you've actually met Ted in real life, but
even though evil.
That's exactly where I was going.
Oh, really?
Okay, you're starting to finish my sentences. I
pulled it right out of your head.
You did. It hurts. No. So he does go by Evil Ted, but he should really just be really nice Ted Smith. I mean, but it doesn't sound as cool. You know.
I know I have a lot of people that ask me, and mostly young women go always like, why'd they call you Evil Ted? And the funny thing is it's kind of became an oxymoron. It's like a parody in itself, because a long time ago I had a roommate who was also my best friend. He's also named Ted, and we used to live together, and we had a house, and people used to lump us together, so we were called the Teds. And finally, after a while, I'm like going, "Hey, man, we're individuals," and they're like, "Oh, like Ted, they're like Ted A, Ted B, Good Ted, Evil Ted." I'm like, "No, yeah, I love them." So we got kind of the shtick of Good Ted, Evil Ted, and I was like, "Oh, who are you?" I said, "I'm Evil Ted." I'm like, "Why?" I said, "Who wants to be Good Ted?"
Oh my God.
And then what really cemented it was I went on tour with Rob Zombie. Rob Zombie, I met Rob on a couple of music videos. I was making costumes and props for these videos. And Rob was wanted to do special effects for his show, for his tour. And I built a couple of costumes and some props and gags for the show. And Rob said, "Do you want to come on tour with me?" I'm like, "Oh my God, that'd be fantastic." So I signed on, and all of a sudden he got really confused. Like, "Oh wow, there's a lot of Teds." So like there was 3 Teds. It was like Ted Keedick and Ted the road manager. And I looked at him very calmly and said, "Oh dude, there's only one Evil Ted."
Oh my gosh.
And everybody laughed. And sure enough, we made shirts that have our names on them. And so in celebration, I wore that today. On the shirt it says Zombie. It says Zombie Minion.
Nice.
And on the back it says
Evil Ted.
Perfect.
Oh my gosh.
And that's the origin of the Evil Ted brand. That's where my name kind of got cemented. And people just started calling me Evil Ted in the industry, because there's a lot of visual effects people and costume people and prop makers that also by the same name as Ted. And so when people said, "Oh, Evil Ted, I know him," and then it just got stuck, and so I kept it as my brand.
How old is that shirt?
Oh my God, this is pretty old. Since the 90s, like 97.
Nice.
Well, it's very impressive that you can still fit into it. I don't think I could still.
Yeah.
I don't think I could still wear a shirt that was given to me in the early 90s.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, that's actually pretty incredible. Most makers I know tend to like lose their fitness part of their life, because even though we're always working, I mean, I stand so much that I feel like I'm going to have like the world's largest biceps, but it's not the same kind of activity. We kind of like sit and sculpt for 8 hours, but I've seen throwback pictures of you and like, you're the same size. I don't understand how you haven't gotten hefty.
Oh, thank you. Well, my secret is no sugar, no grain.
Oh, that's the best secret ever. Oh my gosh, I wish I had that discipline. That's crazy. That's disciplined.
That pretty much equals no fun in eating. So I'm just saying.
No, it does. It's just in moderation. But but the funny thing was with the whole so I get back to the Evil Ted brand was that I get that a lot, and you're absolutely right. I like the brand, I like the logo, and it kind of stuck with me, and I kind of kept with it. But the people coming up to me, I'll let you guys know something that I'm very new to the cosplay world in the sense of like I'd gone to cons, and I used to go to cons back in the 80s where this whole dressing up thing was not a big thing. It was very rare, if any, and I love how it's just exploded. Like it's this huge thing because cons are the whole con thing was just I only had one con I went to in St. Louis. It was called Archon, and that was the only con of existence I knew of.
Is that the same con that you did because you did a Batman costume at one point, right?
Oh my God, that is correct. Yes, it was. And here's the true story with that Batman costume. I actually had that costume made before the film got released.
Oh wow!
Because I did what all cosplayers do when you see something you love. You're like, oh my god, I want to make that costume. So you go out and you grab every photo reference you can find, which are next to nil. And there's these couple of pictures, and I just thought, well, it's easy. You don't really see the back because it's a cape, so that's going to be easy. So I was looking at pictures, and I sculpted the head. I had a life cast myself. I sculpted the back cowl aroma clay. I made a stone mold. I foam fabricated the muscle suit, but I didn't really know how to seal it. So I just made muscles and put a spandex black suit over it. And I went to the convention, and people were blown away with it. I walked out, and I won Best in Show. And I was like,
that's awesome.
yeah. And I won Best in Show. I was like, oh, I didn't win for like costume. They said, oh, you bought that costume. I was like, what? And the judges thought I bought it.
Oh,
and
wow.
So there's this big dilemma. Like they said, oh, they sell them in the stores now. I'm like, yeah, they're crap. They don't.
Yeah.
They have to sell the crappy one. And so it was this big like. And I laugh at it now. I think it's very funny. But back then I was really mad. I was like, God, I didn't win. But it was a tip to my building, and they thought I bought it. So it was kind of nice.
Yeah, and it was not like you could pull out your smartphone and just show them a plethora of pictures of your build process, right? It's like, hey, here's all the build.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, kids. Ready for this? We did not have cell phones back then.
Yeah, when you said reference material, did you go to the library? Like, how was it even out yet? I don't understand.
Magazines. I went and just bought magazines, print, and that stuff. Yeah, it's like, it's very funny. Yeah, that was literally the era of like buying magazines and stuff. But that was my introduction to it. I loved it. And then shortly after that year, I moved and came to California the following year.
That same year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you always plan in your life to do these kind of things? Like, what was your dream growing up? Was it always this?
No, as growing up as a kid, like anybody else, I lived in St. Louis, Missouri, in a small town. It was in the suburbs of Bridgeton. And like anybody, I just love movies. And I'll be honest, what got me out here, I'll do an abbreviated version of it, was I had a friend of mine who was getting divorced from his wife. They had a big falling out, and they're getting divorced. And so he lived in my apartment. He had no place to stay. So he stayed with me for a couple of days, more like a couple of weeks. He was living with me, and finally I come home one day, and he's like, I'm going to California. I'm packing my bags, and I'm like, what are you going to do? He's like, I'm going to go work in the movie business. I'm like, yeah, good luck, pal. So he takes off with his entire life, packed the car, he drives off, and I worked at Sears. I was a baby photographer at Sears.
What? I didn't know that. You were a photographer.
I had no idea. That's hilarious.
Yeah, no. Yeah, now I told everybody on my podcast here.
That's hilarious.
On the podcast. Amazing. So anyway, but true. I was a baby photographer at Sears, and I got promoted and had a cubicle. I was in downtown St. Louis. I was on the 7th floor and had a cubicle, and I get a phone call a week later from my friend. He goes, I go, hey man, what's up? He goes, hey, I'm working on a zombie movie. I'm like, what? You only been out there for a week? Yeah, working on a zombie movie. And I was like, that's it. Like, he was out there in a week, and the thing he told me, he's like, yeah, half the stuff I'm seeing on set, it's not really as good as what you do, but wow. I'm like, oh, that was it. I was done. I quit my job, gave my 30-day notice, packed my bag with no real plans, and just thought, I'm going to California. So.
Oh my gosh. Wow. So you were already creative in your life, though? Like, you made stuff growing up?
It's a hobby. I did with all, I was a guy who did things on Halloween. I did sculpted. I made costumes. But I wasn't working with foam. Everything was either poster board, duct tape, wood glue. It was I look back on the stuff I made. It was just barbaric. It was like just was just, I just built with whatever I could get my hands on. And that's what I always tell people out there when you're starting off, build what's readily available to you. But
yeah.
So I'm a little curious about, you know, the artist side of you. Do you do any drawing and stuff or that kind of art? Or has it mostly all been hands-on building type stuff?
I've always been hands-on. And I think when working in the movie industry, I learned really quickly that I think even Evil Effects, I talked to Evil Effects, a fellow Twitch streamer, and he and I both laugh and say that we're better building than we are drawing. And with me, I need to force myself to draw sometimes because I just want to make it. I'll just fast forward and jump into it. And then if I thought, you know, and I start making something, I'd stand back and look at it and go, you know, this would have looked better if it this and this and this. And I realized, well, that would have been solved if you sat down and drew it first, Ted. So I realized I got to force myself because like even Jackie earlier had a picture and you could see that she had a layout of her bodysuit or whatever she's building.
Yeah.
See, again, that's smart cosplay. And that's what I need to start doing too. I kind of see it in my head and got a general idea what I'm going to build. And I should sketch, so I need to start drawing more. But I can draw, but that's never been my strong point.
Yeah. We're very similar that way. It's like I have, you know, I can draw, but it's just not something I'm passionate about or something I really enjoy all that much. I really prefer just putting things together. That's really where my, you know, my fun comes from, where I really enjoy it. Even to the point that I know you guys are big on patterning, and I can't stand patterning. It just drives me crazy.
It's funny, but I packed up my bags. I came out, and then I literally, since we were friends, I just got an apartment next to him, and I lived in the valley. It was sweltering hot in the summer times, but I just became a model. I had this whole dream about being like a makeup guy, and after working at in the beginning, and when I came out here and started working at shops with people half my age who could sculpt amazing, I thought, okay, this is not my niche. Like, I could build, but I had a big wake-up call in the makeup world because there's people, they're like 17 years old next to me sculpting amazing creatures and sculptures. I'm like, okay. But it was actually on the film The Guyver, was this great, you know, little sci-fi low-budget movie that became this kind of cult hit. And when I was working on it, I was just kind of like a grunt in the shop, helping out and doing molds and kind of assisting people. But I had a real fabrication skill of building things and figuring things out. And Steve Wang, the writer, who's the director and he's a sculptor and making the monsters in the show, he turned to me and goes, hey, this is prop called the Guyver unit. And he goes, and he started describing what he wanted to do. He goes, could you do that? I'm like, yeah, I could. So he kind of just let me have full reign. So I was able to take off and kind of design the Guyver unit and kind of work with his supervision to make sure it matched the suit that he was building and the show. And that's kind of that was actually the first film that really got my feet wet and like what I wanted to start doing. Like, okay, this is like fabricating and prop making and like engineering things out. And yeah, that was what got me started.
Very cool.
That's really cool.
And that's Steve Wang that runs Alliance Studio now, correct?
Yeah,
yes,
I was ready to say that name sounds really familiar. Oh my gosh, they do all those amazing statues. That's crazy. That's who you worked for?
Yep.
What the heck, Ted?
And that's how I got started. It was through Steve Wang. I'll tell you what, he taught me a really great work ethic. And I love because we were doing these films, and Steve started off like all of us in the film industry, and there's no glamour or fame we are the guys behind the curtain. When we do visual effects and costumes, this is kind of crazy thing I'm trying to get people like, when I started out, we'd build stuff, but you didn't get credit for it. And sometimes you would, sometimes you wouldn't. And Steve Wang was a phenomenal guy, sculptor, artist extraordinaire. And he worked on these great films. And he sculpted the Predator and like all these great monsters. He did the Gill Man for Monster Squad. And he was, but you would not know that because he worked for Stan Winston. So when the film comes out, that's Stan Winston Studios because they hired Steve to do that. So Steve was hired as an independent contractor to do the job. So Stan Winston gets the credit for the shop, and that's just. And as an effects guy, that was pretty much what you did, and it was just understood. And so throughout the years building stuff, we were always the guys behind the curtain, and it was kind of cool. And then Steve would make these monster suits. And I would walk up and see the detail. It was stupid. Like, it was so realistic. And I realized that this monster's going to be shot in a dark alley, and you're never going to see any of this stuff. And I finally turned to Steve and went, why are you killing yourself? Why do you put so much work in this thing that you know for a fact, you could just knock this thing out in half the time? And be done. And Steve turned to me and said, you know why? Because this is my work. This is my piece. And even though it's going to be shot on film, someday somebody's going to walk up and see this in person, or it's going to be hanging on a rack, or someone's going to take a photograph of it. He goes, this is my name's attached to this. So anything I build that's mine, that's my name, that's my brand. I want people to know that what I do is this good. And I thought, holy crap, he's absolutely right. So I was 25, 26, and I thought, I'll be damned, he's absolutely right. So from that point on, every job I did, I realized this is mine. This has my name on it. This is my brand. So I'm going to work the best I can be to make this the best I possibly can in the span of time I do. So and if you bid on a job, he taught me that too. If you bid on a job and you bite off more than you can chew, then guess what? That's your problem. And you still have to deliver. If you bid like, oh, I'll do this job for like $2,000, and the job ends up becoming like a $5,000 job, that has to come out of your pocket. You just suck it up and you finish that job and you deliver the quality of work. Even though you're not making the money anymore on it, you still have to consider that that's your word, that's your brand.
Because reputation is everything, especially in that community. If you burn companies and you don't deliver, well, you won't get hired. It's too competitive.
And it's funny. It's definitely right, Jackie. It's funny you say, because people don't realize Hollywood, as big as it is, it's really small. Because I learned that in the first couple of years when I was working in the shops. I would work and do a couple of movies, and then the show would wrap. I'd walk over to another shop, and I'd see like 3 or 4 faces from the last show. And then if you're dealing effects or costumes or props, it's a small demographic. So every time I work on somebody, every big show I'd go from one show to the next, I always knew 2 or 3 people from their previous job. And over years, you build up a bunch of friends. And it was like, yeah, it's a very small industry. That's why they say, do not shit in your own backyard.
Yeah, that's true. I wanted to ask you, I obviously had my first taste of Hollywood working on a TV commercial after Cosplay Melee. I got my first job, and it was nothing like what I expected. I had a great time because it was for Blizzard, but what you're saying, obviously, like the costume designer is the person that gets the credit, and then you're the costume assistant. So even though my name is on the call sheet, it's the studio that gets credit. But one thing that shocked me about doing something that isn't cosplay is the time crunch. Obviously, I want to make everything. I want to fix every little detail and make every single part of it like a work of art. But they have these incredible deadlines. I mean, shocking deadlines, and they want
stupid deadlines.
So you find yourself having to cut corners. And I don't like getting in the habit of cutting corners. And even on Cosplay Melee, you can witness that. No sealing of foam, because we had to cut corners. And it makes me a little when people talk to me about my one experience, and obviously people talk to you about yours, I'm sure, all the time. Do you ever warn them about the caution of kind of the habits you can form if you work in that rushed environment too often, like sloppy work and cutting corners and whatnot?
Well, here's the thing. There's no such thing as sloppy work. We just have to do it faster. And that's the thing I learned.
You have to become faster yourself.
And that's why I always told people, I said, I worked in movie industry for years, and I found this company called HPR, Hand Prop Room. Mm-hmm. It's a really popular prop house in California. And we do movies and films, and we did all the TV shows and movies. And I got hired there. I just wrapped up my movie, and I was broke, like all filmmakers. So I was broke. I needed a job, and I fell in the prop house. And we started working, and it was a factory. When I came in, it was like the level of speed we're delivering for all these TV shows. We had Malcolm in the Middle, we had Alias, we had Criminal Minds, we had all these TV shows, Vegas. Like we had these, and every time they need something fabricated, they wanted it good and they wanted it fast. And that was the best crash course, because I thought I was good and I thought I was fast. No, I had a wake up call, but the cool thing was an old saying: necessity is the mother of invention. Mm-hmm. And that shop taught me how to build things quickly and fast. I learned all these techniques of painting and everything. You had to do everything twice as fast, and there's only certain things. Paint only dries so fast.
Yeah.
Bondo only dries so fast, but they still want things painted the same day. So we learned all these techniques of how to paint and how to mask paint without being completely dry. And it was like all these great techniques I learned over the years. I was like, oh my God, But again, when I tell people, when you want to get in this for a living, you better love it. If you don't like it, or, oh, I have people write to me, go, hey, I'm thinking. Hey, Ted, I'm thinking about doing this for a living. I was like, no. If you're thinking, then don't do it. You got to want it. You got to have a passion, a drive, and a love, because if you don't love it, it will kick your ass. So go into something, make sure you love it, because it's not going to be good to you. It's going to kick you in the crotch. It's going to yell at you. It's seriously, it's an abusive relationship, but you better love it, because you have to stick to it.
Yeah. And I mean, we all know a lot of people that do independent work, and, it's their main job, and, Ted being one of them. And I think, I know you would agree that you have to live, eat, and breathe it, correct?
Yeah. And what happened with me is that I have to say, I want a big shout out to all my fans and people who watch my YouTube channels and watch my Twitch stream, is that you people regained my faith in crafting again, because I've been at this almost like 30 years, and I worked at this prop house, and it was great. And it came to my rescue, because I was like, I need money. I want to get, I'm tired of freelancing. I want a steady paycheck. And they gave it to me. I fell into this prop house, and they were great. They were good to me. They threw work at me, but I'm not a young man. And it was like, and the level of what they wanted from you guys and the speed, I did it for 13 years at this prop house for 13 years. And at that neck break speed that we worked at, I did that for 8 hours a day, every day for 13 years. And it was exhausting. It took a toll on me, because when I was doing that, guess what I was not doing when I was at home? Building.
Your own work, right?
Yeah, I was done, because I was completely exhausted physically and mentally, because I would give them my best, like, oh, we need this, Ted, we have to figure this out. And my crazy stuff I would do, like we did Mad Men, there's a TV show called Mad Men. And the funny thing about it was there's an episode where they had a tiki, like, I think, somebody picked up a tiki idol on somebody's desk and threw it at the guy across the room. So of course we need a rubber one. And we're like, well, when do they need that by? Tomorrow? And like, tomorrow? So everybody was freaking out, and I said, fine, I can do this. I can do this. So I basically took the wooden one, wrapped it in paper, made a burnish of it, made a real quick pattern, and cut a piece of, and glued a bunch of foam together, stacked it, glued it, and I made a wooden tiki out of foam in roughly about 8 to 9 hours. Coat it, seal it, and paint it, and it was ready for the next day.
Wow!
And that's the kind of, it came out beautiful. I think you guys, it might be on my website. If you go to my website, eviltedsmith.com, there's props I made, and there's a picture. I think there's a picture of a tiki idol, and the thing that's so funny about that was, I laugh about that, but it was like that all the time at that prop house. And it's not their fault, and I don't blame them it's just that the industry is just like, they want everything so damn fast, Yeah. And if you say no, then you lose the job. They just go to somebody else.
Yeah, because there's always somebody else waiting in line to do that same job, right?
Right. So we just kind of crank sleep out. But like I said, after a while, I was like exhausted. But then I started doing the videos, and the fans were like, "Hey, you should do more videos." And hey, how do you do this or how do you do that? And then it regained my faith again. Like, oh, wait a minute, this is fun. I'm having fun again. And so streaming and like making videos, it forces me to keep building and making more stuff. So I want to say thank you to the cosplay community, and thank you to YouTube, and thank you to Twitch, and thank you everybody who comes in and supports me, because they regain my faith back into building. So making it fun again.
Well, that's totally cool. So when did your first like YouTube video come about? What was did somebody encourage you to do that, or was it just one day you were just like, maybe I should throw this up on YouTube? Or I mean, how did that? Because you're probably most well known for your YouTube content, I would think, although your Twitch is definitely getting to be more well known as well. So
yeah, that's roughly, I think 3 years or almost 4. Yeah, 3 years. It was 3 years ago. Was my first video. What it was this guy. This was the birth of. I go all the way back to the days of MySpace, and I would see people making costumes.
MySpace.
I thought that's really, yeah, MySpace.
Sorry, just made me laugh.
Yeah, I didn't know why, because I'm old. Anyway, the funny thing was, the birth of Facebook was happening, and I started finding these groups, these cosplay groups or build groups, and I started seeing pictures. I'd see people like Yaya Han and all these cosplay. I was like, holy crap, look at these costumes. And I'm like, and I actually was like realizing these aren't industry people. These aren't special effects people. These are just people at home in their garage making stuff. So I was completely thrilled. Like, this is really cool. So I started watching, and people were using like hot glue and like craft foam. And I started realizing, like, there's better ways of doing this. I think it's cool what they're doing, but there's a little. So what I realized is everybody was making foam armor, but everybody was buying helmets or sculpting something or casting helmets. And I always thought that, well, you're so good with the body armor and foam, take it one level up, just do a helmet out of foam. And I realized there wasn't a lot of people doing videos. There's people out there with a couple of foam helmets. So I thought, well, I'll do that. So I did this real simple video on how to make a foam helmet, and it exploded. It really took off. And just the feedback, because when I was making the video, I was really self-conscious, because when I was making it, I was watching other people's videos, and all their videos were really streamlined. People had these really cool, like, streamlined videos, and my video was doing like step by step, and I felt like I was giving way too much information. It wasn't streamlined enough, but I played the video up anyway, and all I got was emails and letters for people going, "Oh my God, I love that you break it down. I love that you go into details and you broke this video up into 3 videos." And I'm like, wow, great. So then that's always kind of been my format, is that anything I make, I try to cover as much as possible. So I just got a plaque in the mail. I didn't shoot a video. Because I did a helmet giveaway when I had reached 100,000 subscribers. Mm-hmm. I kind of made this helmet as a giveaway, which was fun. And it was all great. And I did this a tribute, like, thank you for everybody watching my video. And then all of a sudden I got something in the mail. I was like, it was a plaque from YouTube. It was a silver button.
Yeah, you got your 100,000 awesome. Silver button, right?
And I think it was almost the same thing with Bill. I think Bill Duran said the same thing too in his video. When he got his, it's like, you're like, yeah, whatever. And then when you get it and actually physically look at it, mm-hmm. it kind of made me a little emotional. Like, oh my God, like, this is a big achievement. Like, thank you. And I realized this isn't mine. This plaque is not mine. This is theirs. My fans, the people who've watched these videos, like, this is their plaque. So thank you. So this was crazy.
Yeah, that's super cool.
That's so cool. Do you have it on display in your shop?
It's actually the only place they actually made sense that I hung it in my kitchen, because I have all this. Maybe you're right. Maybe I should. Good. Thank you, Jackie. I should hang it in my shop so you can actually see it.
Yeah. So when we watch the Twitch stream, we can look at it.
Yeah. There you go.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah.
That's so super cool. So YouTube definitely became a good success for you, and then you got a lot of great feedback from that, and then you just continued to pump out the videos, right? And
the thing, and also again, just a shout out to my friend Bill Duran at Punished Props. Bill, said, hey Ted, and I said, what? Of course, Bill's been at for like 8 years. He's got us down to a system. So I kind of reached for Bill for some advice, and Bill said, get a website. Get a website. Goes, don't do this all through Facebook. Facebook, like, when you post something, they don't, like, all the 50,000 people or whoever following on Facebook, if you post something on Facebook, Facebook crushes it and only sends it to maybe 10,000 or 15,000. Yeah. They control it. And once he told me that, I was like, holy crap. And I did some research, and he's absolutely right. So then I created a website. And in getting the website, I had my videos posted, but I realized I should sell patterns. Mm-hmm. So I started doing the pattern thing and get that going. Now I have a huge pattern store, and I got videos up there, and I got a thing I do called Fan Photo Friday, mm-hmm. where all my people who built costumes from watching my videos can submit a picture of their costumes. And if I pick you, then I'll post your picture, and I'll promote your links, and send you some stickers.
That's awesome. Your patterns definitely. I was like most people, and in the beginning, I didn't understand like how people made patterns out of foam. I have like corset patterns and sewing patterns, and it once I saw yours, and I got your female chest pattern, and I set it beside my sewing corset pattern. And I thought, this is a very similar shape and design, and I don't know why it hadn't clicked to me before that. Of course, you can add seam allowances and take sewing patterns and alter them, but people struggle with that. Your patterns, I remember just just the ability to buy them and practice with someone else's patterns helped me make my own. So I was really lucky because a female shape in general is very unforgiving, and you created a full coverage, chest piece, and that's a challenge. That is the one piece that all of my girlfriends that may do foam pieces for their arms and their legs, they still do a Warbler chest piece because they can't pattern it. And so for you to offer something like that, it helped me learn how to alter them and make them for myself. And in your video, you say that you're like, you can take these patterns and change them up, but they're like a good foundation. They're a great way to just understand how they work. And it's true. Like, I think I'd be a lot farther behind had you not made those videos and made those patterns for sale. Like I don't know what I'd be doing. I'd still be like heat forming Warbler nonstop. I love the ability of having registration marks and pulling the foam to create really cool shapes. Like one of my friend Lisa, she hasn't made a lot of like really big builds, but she bought your foam horn pattern and built the coolest horns. And that's crazy that somebody that doesn't work with foam can take your pattern, and because it's explained so well and because you have videos, she was able to create it. Like that's so cool to me. Like you're a great teacher. You're really good at the teaching part.
Thank you so much. That story just kind of warms my heart because my mission is to show people my patterns aren't that. I appreciate you like my pattern. I keep my patterns relatively simplistic. I try to keep them as simple as possible because I always tell people when you get the pattern and once you heat it, curl it, and glue it, and it comes together, you're like, oh wow, I get it now. And that's I want to open the door to the fabrication of like literally taking, like you said, it's like making clothes. Once you heat it and curl it, and like, oh wait a minute, that makes a helmet now. Like exactly. So thank you, Jackie. That's nice.
Yeah. Have you ever put Ted's patterns together, Eric?
I did. I've used his shoulder pattern. I was working on a video to test a bunch of different foam coatings, and I used his shoulder pattern to make a bunch of test pieces for that video. And I made like 6 shoulder pieces out of it and then never shot the video.
I have all his pieces together somewhere in the shop. I have just foam patterns living everywhere, but I have them all. The funny fact is, so now that Cosplay Melee has aired and everybody saw whatever they saw, obviously not all of it can make it on the camera, and I'm a messy crafter. As I just showed right before we started this podcast, guys, I was showing Ted a pattern that I had here on the table that wasn't labeled. Well, I made patterns for the show. And I didn't label them. They were on brown butcher paper and they look like trash. The only patterns that were labeled were Ted's that I brought on the show with me. At the end of cleanup, I lost all my patterns except for the ones that were labeled because they look like trash. So when I was wrapping I was the only contestant that you see through the whole series wrapping themselves because I had to remake my patterns because they were thrown away because they weren't labeled. So the chest piece and the knees are Evil Ted's patterns on my costume. I had to alter them because I didn't have time to remake a breast cup and I had to alter it. And so I am so thankful that I brought those patterns on TV with me or I would have been naked.
Fantastic.
I'm pretty sure you've watched some of Cosplay Melee, correct, Ted?
Yes, I have. Here's the thing with Cosplay Melee. People ask me all about it. And this is so much better than was it Heroes of Cosplay, which that was garbage. The funny thing with SyFy Channel and cosplay is that cosplay is growing and becoming a lucrative business, and that's why you're seeing cons pop up everywhere because everybody wants a piece of the pie, and it's getting so big and so popular that even like the reality TV show people are like, holy crap, we gotta cash in on this. And when they did with Heroes of Cosplay, they just tried to make it like Wives of Beverly Hills, and everybody hated that show. It's like, no, that's not what the show's about. And Cosplay Melee, it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah,
I like the idea to get cosplayers together and they pick a target, like we're gonna do this and do that, and watch them build. There's a little bit of drama. I guess they try to bring in with the I think the voting. I like not the voting so much the questions. Mm-hmm. Some of the stuff that comes out of these guys' mouths, I'm like scratching my heads. Like that is the stupidest thing you focused on. Like I like, well, Jackie, I like your costume, but there's no detail here. I'm like, Really? That's it?
I spent too much time here, guys.
That's like, have you not looked at the entire armor completed? Like, it's like,
I know that drove me crazy with her. I have to put that out there again. I know I've gone on record about that before, but it just drove me crazy with her costume.
And also, just real quick, a big shout out. I'm going to do this on the podcast. I'm going to say this aloud. Like, Jackie Craft got robbed on that show because you did exactly what they wanted to do, and you should have won. But I know the show caters to people, who they are, their background. It's more about like Vert Vixen, like that whole thing with her headpiece she made, which was stunning and beautiful. And they made her turn around and he goes, that little string in the back. I'm like, well, first of all, it's not a little string; it's a leather strap.
Yeah.
And if you made a headdress like that, it would be a leather strap.
Yeah.
And what that was, and that when she got picked over the other person, it was just like I was at Sig Neutron's house. He's on Face Off.
Dude, I'm a huge Sig fan. I hashtag thighs out. They're my guys. I love Sig. I tweeted at him like the whole time. I was so excited that he won.
Yeah, so we're sitting there watching the show Cosplay Melee at the house with all his friends, and so when Vert Vixen did not, everybody was like, "What?" And everybody screamed and yelled, and they all turned to me, and I looked at them and said, "Guys, they did that just for that reason. They did it for drama, and they want excitement. They want a little bit of tension." I said, "That's why." Again, reality show is not really reality; it's entertainment. But again,
exactly, yeah.
I think the show's a step in the right direction. I think it's wonderful. And yes, there was rumor of them picking me as a judge. There was talk about it. They threw their names. I found out through other people that they were considering me, and then I think it got to a point where they realized that I wasn't big enough. So
I am very close to my executive producer, and he's wonderful, and he loved the show. And obviously, the network has the final say. So the producer, they have an idea of what they want, and they were so good to us. And they let us, I had all these like funny ideas and stuff, and like they let me run with it. I was the first one that did like a test run. And like what I was going to do when I was in costume. And I had so much fun just goofing. I was like, can I do this weird yell? And like, can I pose like this? And I just want to be crazy. Is that fine? And they're like, yeah, do whatever you want. Embrace your character. And so they loved it. But I will say that we all were confused because I obviously Christian has a big background. I didn't know who he was prior to the show. I love Yvette because I was a huge Community fan. And I know who Leanna is. So I understand that they all qualify to be judges. But everybody, all the contestants and other people were like, dude, what the heck? Like, we have all these famous people in our community and they're local. You could have gotten them. Well, I think the issue was they had played around with the idea of a guest judge every week, but they could, because of scheduling, that would have been 6 guest judges and it was too hard with the timeline to like get it all done. I don't know. But as I know, they approached Kamui and they talked to Bill and you were a name that was tossed around, but I don't know I don't know where the ball was dropped, maybe budget, who knows. But they definitely, I wish they would have done that because I feel like it would have just been one cool extra thing. But do you know Christian? That reminds me, since you're in the community.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I do have them. And I'll leave it at that. We're not going to say anymore.
You heard it here first. I won't say anymore.
Yeah. But,
well, there you go. Ted being a nice guy again. So
yeah, see, that's why he's not evil. He's a very polite guy.
See, now if Ted was really evil, then he would have gone on some crazy rant about, all the horrible people in Hollywood or something. So
yeah.
So
yeah.
But it was. But the thing with the show is that I laugh because I chuckled because they didn't pick us because I'll be honest, we're not. I'm known in the cosplay community, but in reality, that's very small. And the sense of like television, it's like, yeah, okay, the cosplayers would know who he is, but nobody beyond. They want bigger draws, and I'll be honest with you, people like some fans were like, hey Ted, would you do the show? And I said, no, I like to teach, not compete. That's my thing.
Yeah,
I like to teach, and number one too is that it just if ever I get approached, I would still probably say no. I don't. It's the TV thing is like, I think Bill and I talked about it too sometimes. It's like, why go on a TV show when we have our own show? We have our show. Bill's has his show. I have my show. Why don't we just grow our shows bigger together and just support each other and make our own community and make our own thing? And like I said, SyFy Channel just saw they're like seeing this cosplay thing blowing up, and they said, we want to wet our beak in this. We want a piece of this action. What can we do? Let's create a TV show. Well, the first one failed miserably. So the second one, Cosplay Melee, is much better. And I think they're learning from it. We'll see more, but you'll see other people doing more cosplay stuff, because that's why the cons, my God, I can't keep track of all the new cons popping up. They're everywhere.
Yeah, there is definitely a plethora of cons right now. I figure eventually there's going to be like a big bubble that bursts, and then it'll kind of settle down again. And
I agree.
And the big ones will kind of stick around. So, but
I love cons. My whole thing is right now, guys, that I'm very new to cosplay in the sense of like this. I've technically only done this 3 years, and I'm starting to do cons this year. And so for all you people listening to this podcast right now, I'm all about coming to your city or your town. If you guys hear this and you want to get me to your con, write to your conventions and say, we'd love to have you, Old Ted. Have them contact me, because I love interacting with fans. I love meeting them. I love doing panels. I love going to cons and like showing off my work, but also asking questions. Yeah, it's so much. I love interacting with people. It's so much fun to deal with those people.
I'd have to say it's a lot of fun to hang out with you at a con. Because we've hung out several days at several different cons now, and just watching you interact with people is just a joy. So it's just so much fun to have people. Oh, it's Evil Ted, and they want a picture or whatever, and you just jump right in there, and you're always posing with somebody. Like I remember at Emerald City, there was a guy in a Doc Octopus costume, and he's just like, hey, will you take a picture with me? And you're like, yeah. And you hop in there, and you like, and all of a sudden you like wrap his tentacles around you, and stuff, and you're all posing and just really got into it. And I was just like, that is just so much fun, and I just think it's cool for people to be able to, meet you in person because they watch your videos and stuff, but watching you interact and seeing how much fun you have with people at the same time, it's like, it made me think, maybe I'm not as fun as I think I am.
Oh, stop.
Oh, my God.
Not true. Not true.
Because I just kind of stand there for a photo, and you're just all like getting into it, and I'm just like, man, that Evil Ted, that guy's got some spirit, man.
No, I'm a kid in a candy store. It's like when I went to BlizzCon, the first time it really happened to me, I think I talked to Eric about this earlier, was that BlizzCon last year was the first time where I experienced that I might be recognized, like I'm actually known. I like my YouTube channels are going even broader than I think they do. Mm-hmm. It's weird. Like I just make a video and throw it out in the abyss. I stay in my house. I build, make videos. I don't get out and interact with people so much because I'm always working or doing something or in my circle of friends. But I went out to BlizzCon, and I was super excited last year. I made my Space Marine costume, and I went out there, and I walked around Friday in a costume, and then it just kicked my butt. I was really exhausted. I thought, well, I'll just do Saturday as a fan. I'll just walk around with my cell phone, take pictures. So I left the costume at the hotel room. I walked to BlizzCon on foot with my phone and my badge, and walked in there. And as soon as I came in there, people were like, oh my God, it's Evil Ted. I'm like, hi, how you doing? And these people would walk up to me in these breathtaking, amazing costumes. And they were just like, this is what I built because of your videos. And they start walking around and show me all the stuff, which was breathtaking. These costumes were amazing, and they're beautiful. They light up. And I kept telling them, no, guys, like I didn't make that costume. I appreciate that you love my videos, but I didn't make that costume. You made that. Like the idea that I'm the fan or I'm the wind in your sails that motivates you to build something that's spectacular is such a joy to me that I'm more fangirling on you than you're fangirling on me, because I've seen what it made me realize that I have to up my game now because everybody's building amazing costumes. Like when I started off, I probably could have named like 5 cosplayers that I thought were pretty good. Now I've lost count. It's like when I was at BlizzCon, I was so blown away, and all these people were just rushing up to me in these breathtaking costumes, thanking me for the videos. And I'm like, well, thank you for blowing me out of the water, making me realize that I got to make more videos or make something new or better, because you guys are crushing it. They're just amazing. And I felt so humbled and like that I'm contributing to this is amazing, because I go back to that 14-year-old boy when I saw Star Wars. I was 14 years old. It was 1977. And I saw Star Wars, and I was blown away. And all I wanted to do was make stuff, and there was nothing. No books, no behind the scenes, no YouTube, nothing. So as a kid growing up in the 70s and the 80s, desperately grasping information, that when these young people come to me, that I am the guy that I was looking for when I was 14. So I'm supplying that guru or senpai, they call me, to get them, because I had the talent back then. I had the ability to do it. I had the passion. I was ready to go, but nobody would show me, and it drove me crazy. And I felt like I got a much later start in life building because I lacked any kind of direction or support or books or how-tos or anything back then. So the idea I can start somebody earlier than I am was so much better.
Well, it's so funny that, like, well, I just want to touch on that really fast, that you're talking about, like, you didn't have somebody show you or teach you. I listened to Frank's podcast, Creature Cast, and they were talking recently about people hold so tight to their secrets, and like especially in the makeup and like the special effects community in the 80s and 90s and 70s, even people had tips and they had techniques, and like they will take them to the grave. They won't teach, they won't share them. Yeah. And it's so different. The cosplay community, you kind of like busted out and given people every technique that you have. Like you show so many, and it's so different.
Well, that's because back then the big thing was losing your job, because back then there was such a small knit community of people, crafters. I think you guys tapped up with Kevin, with Steven on SKS Props. Is that when you were doing stuff in the beginning, you had a small niche core of clients and whatnot, and your fear, if you told them anybody else about that, they would just take off and steal your work. And I realized that I'll say it right here in the podcast. When I started my YouTube channel, I got some flack from two people, and
wow.
And I kind of chuckled because they were like, "Hey man, dude, you know, it's like you're giving out trade secrets," or like, and I kept thinking, dude, seriously, do you think these kids in their basement are going to steal your job in Hollywood? That's some serious insecurity. That's like complete paranoia. That's ridiculous. But I understand the mindset. But I said, what I'm teaching is a dying art. Foam fabrication is not, Hollywood doesn't use it. We did the low budget era, you know, in the 80s, you know, the 80s and 90s for movies, we do foam fabricating. In Japan, that's how they do all the super, like the TV shows, like Kamen Rider and those Japanese hero shows, that the hero guy is super cool. He's sculpted, he's fiberglass and 3D printed, but the background monsters, they have to crack them out, you know, they have to crank out a monster a week. So those monsters are all foam fabricated. So in Japan, they have it down to a science. Those guys can build stuff so amazingly fast. But with that being said, foam fabricating to me is a dying art, and that doing this YouTube stuff, and now with cosplay, it's like I realize it's not anymore. It's come back, and now it's out there. There's kids out there building stuff better than I can do, and I'm kind of glad that people look at me as this guru, but I'm already looking at stuff that people are building. I'm thinking this. You know, they're crushing it, and they're doing far better than ever I would do. I mean, because they're so obsessed. Like, I got to build this. And I'm just too old. Like, it's good enough. Like, yeah, it's got to be perfect. I'm like, that's good. Throw some paint on it. It's good.
Well, roll.
It's interesting to me that you bring up the fact that, you know, it's like a lot of older techniques and stuff, and foam fabrication is something that is kind of gone away from in Hollywood, and therefore, you know, now with, you know, the cosplay scene the way it's become, that it's kind of a rejuvenating you and that whole type of building. And I've never really even considered that being a thing, you know. That's really cool to hear that, not only one, that's continuing to go on, but then also you're able and willing to take the time to be like, hey, this is how you do this stuff, kids, you know.
Yeah.
Because because if people weren't sharing, it's like, would we know about it? You know, I mean, because of guys like you and Bill from Punished Props, you know, mostly YouTube with the foam stuff. I wouldn't know anything about it if it wasn't for you guys. So
it's funny because I want to give a real big shout out, because when I started in Hollywood, I knew a little bit of foam, but I want to give a big shout. I worked in this film called The Guyver. We talked about it earlier. I worked with this guy, Asao Goto, and he was from Japan. And Asao Goto and the Guyver, way they make these monsters, and the hero suits were sculpted out of clay. and they made fiberglass molds, and they ran the suits out of foam rubber, and they were beautiful, but it was super expensive. But they need a bunch of background monsters, and so Asao Goto was in charge to foam fabricate these background monsters. And Asao is from Japan. He used to work for this company called Rainbow, and Rainbow in Japan would make all these superhero bad guys, and they make these monsters in a week, and they'd have like a team of guys. So I worked with Asao Goto, and that's what blew my mind. I learned how to foam fabricate making monsters first. And I did that with Asao Goto, and that's who got me started in the whole foam fabricating thing. And then I worked with this guy, Ken Hall, and Ken Hall runs a company called Total Fabrication. And we're working with Ken. I watched Ken. He taught me the whole duct tape and aluminum foil patterning thing. And I was like, wow, what? And like, here's the story. Ken Hall did he did this giant Independence Day, the movie Independence Day. The big giant, the big giant alien. There was a fabricated one.
I'm sorry, but the way you casually talk about these things, you're like Mad Men, Independence Day, Malcolm.
Kind of small budget Independence Day movie.
No big deal.
You guys heard of that one?
Anyway, I digress. My point being was that Ken Hall did this giant display of the alien from Independence Day, like the whole really elaborate body form and stuff. It was breathtaking. I saw this thing and it blew my mind. And I turned to Ken and went, "Holy crap, dude, how'd you do that?" And he kind of shrugged and went, I just went out and bought the toy and made a pattern off of it.
Wow.
I was like, what?
Made out of?
It was all foam fabricated. He made a giant foam fabricated, like life-size alien from the movie Independence Day. But what Ken did was he bought the large-scale action figure. It was like about I think it was like 9 inches tall. It was really big. And he sat there and took aluminum foil and patterned off of it, put it on an overhead projector, blew it up the size he wanted to, made the patterns, and transferred the foam and put it all back together. And it just like a model kit. He made this giant. And once he said that to him, I thought I just immediately turned to him and went, "That's fucking brilliant."
Yeah. My gosh. The projector part, that's so smart.
Right. So then that's when I ended up, Holly Conrad did it. She wanted to do this costume. "Oh, Ted, I need to make this big pattern. How would I do it?" And I had that video on YouTube. It's called "How to Make Large Patterns."
Yeah.
And I did that video with Holly where we took a small sculpture, a little sculpture of foil to get the shape that Holly liked. We covered it in foil and duct tape. I cut it all apart and we just laid it down on transparency, traced it, projected it, and that's a tribute to my friend Ken Hall. I learned that trick from him, and then I did that video, and now everybody out there saw the video. I put it out to the universe, and so people are writing back to me going, "Oh my God, I did this amazing costume because of that video." And I just like the idea that I took this little technique I learned from somebody else, and I told somebody else, and then somebody else does it, and it just expels on it,
Gosh, that's so cool.
Yeah, and so good for the community, right? Because that's out there. That's out there, and then people can learn new techniques, and the kind of cycle of creatives continues, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious, since you have all of the, sorry, Eric, you look like.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm curious. So obviously I look up to you. A lot of people look up to you, and you've worked with a lot of people that are kind of your equals now. And obviously you have people that have taught you. Is there anybody currently that you that you look up to, or that you're very impressed by their skill set, or even anybody, cosplayers as well as professional makers? Like, do you stay in touch with anybody that's currently doing something for movies or monster production that you're just in all of the way things are done now, or anybody that impresses you?
Oh my God. Like I said, if you asked me like 3 years ago or 2 years ago, I could have told you. And now it's just too huge.
Yeah.
I bumped into, oh my God, what's her name? Hold on, guys. If I mention her name, I don't want to screw it. Let me go to Instagram real quick. It's just like, I bumped into her on the floor at WonderCon, and she made a costume from Fallout. The Assaultron. It was called the Assaultrons, and it was a Assaultron cosplay. And I thought it was Britt from Bill Britt did one from Punish Props.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's another. I've seen the other one that you're talking about. I don't remember her name though.
I know it's true. Oh my God, it's so sad.
I can't remember either, but I've seen her on Instagram.
She's on Instagram, and she did one. It was super cool, and I went, "That's awesome!" And and she's like, "Oh my God, Evil Ted, I love you. I've seen all your videos." And again, I didn't know who she was until that day, and it made me realize that holy crap, that's really good. And it's like, and it made me just realize at a point where there's so many people out there, and there's so many people out there good, that people are known or not known, or they have Instagram or haven't really blown up yet. But it's just a level of, it's just so hard that I get inspired when I'm walking around a convention and bumping somebody that made a really good costume. And to nail somebody down to who's somebody that to keep an eye on or watch out for, it's, I don't know. I'm so blown away with everybody at what they all do. It's like,
is it Sylvia?
That's it.
Sylvia Vale.
That's it. Sylvia Vale. And she was, she's a tall drink of water. She was really tall. She had this crazy costume on.
Yeah.
And I never saw her face because she had her helmet on. And she was just kept going, oh my God, I love your videos. You did great. And I'm like, and she's, once again, fangirling on me. And all I wanted to do was fangirl on her costume because I showed Britt from Punish Props, and even Britt was like, wow, she nailed stuff closer to the original design than even I did. And I love the idea that these people who are just grabbing things from video games and building stuff and just blowing me out of the water. And it's just, I don't know. I just get humbled. I really do. I just keep seeing more and more build videos, and that I just feel that all my mission is that I just want to fan the flame and keep these people keep building and just keep at it. And then, everybody who's listening to the podcast, if you guys like what I'm doing and you want the videos to keep coming, I'll ask you guys to go to my website, eviltedsmith.com, get on my mailing list, buy a pattern, shop through Amazon. It doesn't have to be a cosplay thing. Whatever you guys do that does that keeps me going. And every time I see amazing builds, the idea that I'm helping you people build just excites me to know. And this is far the best job I could ever have in my life. This is just amazing.
Well, and to go along with that too, it's like you went from you're still doing your YouTube videos, but then within the last year you started streaming on Twitch as well.
Yes.
Are you getting close to a year yet? Your anniversary is probably coming up soon, I would think.
It is. It's coming up quick, and the Twitch thing's amazing. And Bill taught me that I'm trying to take my Twitch streams and cut them down and put them on video on YouTube. And some are more easier to do than others. And I realized I want to start getting back to my Evil Ted channel videos because I just want to start doing more direct videos of just people have been asking for a full face helmet video, like how do I get full face helmet? And when I made the first helmet video, people were like, oh, how do you do a full face? And to me, like Jackie and I are both like, it's really simple. You just put a piece of foam here. Like I don't, and I finally
you build a helmet and then you put foam on the front of it.
And I finally realized that that's easy for me, but generally not for everybody else out there. Yeah. And again, so I thought, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna make a real simplistic video to say, okay, here's how I go about doing this, and so I was gonna make it a little bit more like, here's how to make a full face helmet. Here's what I do for visors, and this is what I do for for face shields, and show them all the techniques I do and the stores I buy my visors from and this and that. So I actually am scripting that out. I realized I have to start scripting my videos because I usually make my videos kind of like off the cuff, just kind of make it up as I go. And then when I'm done, I'm like, ooh, maybe I should have mentioned that. Or I forgot about this or forgot. So I realized I have to kind of do a little script. So I'm working on a tentative script, a breakdown of how to make a full face helmet video, and so I'll be shooting that one soon. So
I'm sure all of your legions of fans will be happy to hear that full face video.
Yes, they will.
Evil Ted Smith on the way, and then along with Twitch, then you got partnered recently too. Well, it's been a while yet since, but you have been partnered for a couple months now. So congratulations on getting that partnership because
thank you so much.
I think that's definitely just like the YouTube success. It's also a milestone. To be able to do the Twitch thing and be considered a partner and be able to take subscriptions and stuff. And that's another way that you can support Ted is through a Twitch.
Oh, come subscribe. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And you get awesome icons. Like,
that's right.
Yeah.
Like you get a boat.
Like a can of barge.
A can of barge, fly moat, box cutter. And then guys, again, everybody, people listen. The cool thing with Twitch is I stream live. So if you want to ask me a question, the cool thing is I can answer it live because when I have to go through YouTube and do comments or emails, it takes me a while because I have to write them. When you come into Twitch, I can answer you live. And it's so cool. So don't forget, it's twitch.tv/eviltedsmith. Come and do that. It's awesome. I stream Mondays and Tuesdays from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And on Thursdays, I stream from noon to 2. Awesome. Come and chat.
Yeah, and you have a lively chat too. I mean, whenever I stop by, there's usually at least 100 viewers, and at least half of them are chatting away, asking questions, and having a good time. So it's always fun to stop by your stream and hang out in the chat room.
And the chat is super creative. It's just people like Jackie and you. I don't just everybody in that community in that chat are super creative builders too. So if I can't answer that question, somebody in the group can. It's amazing. Yeah. I have such a great group of people in chat when I'm streaming.
It's a great way to learn. Like even now, I mean, obviously I don't know everything. I haven't been doing this forever, and I'd say even people.
Nor do I.
Yeah, so it's crazy. I love all the fun new tips and tricks. It's worth just being a part of different communities and Twitch communities just to read the things that people are doing and their ways that they do things. Because oftentimes as people are observing you, they're commenting about, oh, I did something, but I've been using this. Have you tried this? And it's like, oh man, no, what is that? Like, I can't even tell you. I have so many products I purchased just because someone mentions it. And I'm like, well, I have to try that.
Yeah, the thing is so funny. I got a YouTube guy. I have a website guy who manages my website for me. And when I started streaming on Twitch, he told me, he goes, "Oh my God, Ted, your activity on your website is crazy since you started on Twitch." And I realized it's because it's just so interactive and it's so immediate. People can talk and communicate, and I can just shout out to people. And I have this wonderful mod. Our nickname for her is Brap, and she likes her name Brap. And Brap is a fellow cosplayer, but she's also one of my mods, and a mod is a person who kind of controls the chat and stuff, and she's just amazing. If I'm streaming, if I mention a video or a pattern, boom, it's in the chat immediately. She throws it up. She's like, great. And so I've officially hired my first assistant. That's Brap. Brap has been
Brap is amazing. She's also a mod on my channel, although I don't stream nearly as often as you do, but she's on top of it, man. That girl.
Yeah, she's great. She's great.
She's like, I don't know.
What's your cosplay name? Does she have like a page?
It's Brap. It's on Facebook. It's Brap. It's BBRR. It's like it just start go 2BRR. Like it comes up. It's Brap Cosplay. It's pretty funny.
That's so funny.
Yeah, she's the best.
Yeah,
we love you, Brap.
Oh wow! Okay. Oh, it says assistant to Evil Ted.
There you go.
That's funny. It is Brap. You're right. Just BB and then rap.
So do you have anything that you're currently working on that you want to talk about or share?
Yes, I want to talk about. I am doing I've been working on one of my passion projects for a long time, and everybody's been waiting for it impatiently. And it was my Vampire Hunter D costume.
Awesome.
I streamed it. Been streaming the majority of it all, the majority of the build, and right now it's just been painting and detailing, and it's pretty much done. So I'm going to be doing a photo shoot with him in a couple of weeks. I'm going to. I'll probably have the photos up before you see him live. I'll definitely post pictures of him, but I'm going to premiere that costume at TwitchCon this year. I'm going to wear them for Twitch, even though Twitch is not really a cosplay convention thing. It's for me. It's like I built this entire thing for Twitch, and all the Twitch fans and people coming in from it. So it's kind of like a Twitch costume thing built. And I'm really excited, and I've been wanting to make this character for years. And when I first saw the costume, I was very young and very intimidated. I didn't really know I was going to make them. And I was still the mindset of sculpting and molding and fiberglass and vacuum forming. And it finally one day when I started my YouTube channel, epiphany, like a lightning ball went up in my head. I'm like, wait a minute. I can stream and build Vampire D live. Like, it gave me the motivation. So I built it and went this little journey, and everybody came with me. That's kind of the thing I'm doing. And I'm going to be starting my costume right now. I'm doing I'll be premiering at the one I'm doing right now. I'm doing Madam Hydra, which I didn't even know she existed. Like, I'm like, who? Brap, my assistant, we're doing a con called HydraCon. Guys, go to my website, eviltedsmith.com, has the dates of the tour dates. You just click on events, it gives you the listing of all the cons I'll be at. At HydraCon, Brap was like, hey, Ted, we should do something for HydraCon. Since it's HydraCon, we should make Madam Hydra, and I should play her. And I thought, wow.
I'm sensing a plan there.
Yeah, I said, wow. Oh, Brap, what a brilliant idea. And at first I laughed about it, but the more I thought about it, I thought, wait a minute, let me get this straight. I can sit at a con, be comfortable, sit behind a booth, and have Brap wear the costume. Have Brap walk around. I thought, you know something? Done. So that's what I'm doing right now. If you guys want to see that, I'm building Madam Hydra live on my streams on Twitch. I'm compiling video of it. I might do like I might just compile because I'm really going to try to rush this thing done quickly. I might just do like a abbreviated video of me building it and then have it completed video. I'm debating if I'm going to do a 3-part video or something like that. But it's going to be a fast build because it's in a month. We have to have this con. I have to have this thing completed, built, seamed, and painted, and ready to go within a month. So it's kind of a little bit. I mean, that's enough time for me. But I want to go a little faster because I want to have the time to have if something doesn't work out or something doesn't look right, I want to have the time to remake something. So that's one thing.
And you've been streaming some of it too, right?
Yes, I have. I just started powering things up.
And I mean, I find that when I stream, I'm a lot slower. I mean,
oh my God. Yeah. Don't get me started. Because I love building, and Bill Duran always kept telling me, he goes, Ted, everything's content. Film, record everything. But sometimes if I have something I have to build, I can't. I got to crank it. So that Space Marine I did for BlizzCon last year, I didn't stream it at all. It was all I sat down and I treated that like a job. I treated it like it was a job, and I literally like cranked that thing out fast. It came out beautifully, but because I didn't have to stream, I just sat down and had my list of like bang, 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 bang. I just worked like a madman to get that thing done in time, and I rushed to get it done so I had time to dry and cure, and so.
Yeah, I struggle with that.
It turned out amazing.
It's really hard to document everything, and I'm always dirty, and I always have stuff on my gloves, so I don't want to touch my phone or my camera. I find it really hard. I have to like stop and set it all up and then prepare to film. Like I don't know, man. I don't know how you guys can manage it. I really struggle with remembering to film stuff. Like I started doing a how-to video for my mermaid bras, and I filmed a bunch of it, and like I have a lot of content, and then I forgot to film this like one important part, but I've already built the darn thing, so it's like
welcome to the world of making videos. I tell people this. Bill Duran always kept telling people don't realize. People are like, oh, you guys, like Bill and I get known for our videos because we're the there's people out there doing them, but a lot of people don't do them because it's work. It's a lot of work.
So
and when people start doing it, they're like, oh, dude, this sucks. It's like a lot of work. I'm like, yeah, dude, yeah, tell me about it. So I since I started Twitch streaming, it got easy because I don't have to set up a camera. I just take my live feeds, I cut them down and put them on YouTube, and I got addicted to that. And I realized I started I watched some of my live stream videos, and they're all right, and they're fun, and they're okay. But I thought, it's not the same as my Evil Ted channel once because I realized that my fans out there would like to have another Evil Ted video. So I'm going to get back to doing that again. I'm still going to stream. I'm still going to do Twitch stream. And I'm just going to probably pick and choose which ones I'm going to cut down and put online because I don't think everything needs to be put up there. So.
Well, the dedicated pick one topic and then write like a script for it or whatever, and then sit down and film it and then edit it and and do it all together. It's a ton of work, and that's why I only have like one of those every 6 months on my YouTube channel. So
also Eric, you have a life, you have a job, you do something else besides it. It's a whole lot easier to know that.
It's a whole lot easier just to start a podcast and have awesome conversations with people.
Yeah, this is an easier option.
And I support you 110% on this. And the thing is, too, that people don't realize that, too. A lot of you people do cosplay. My movie work comes and goes, and like now I'm starting to turn down jobs because what I do is so important to me, and I have a huge fan base, and I got like things I got to do, and like this is far more important. I like doing this better, and my mission is to just make this a full-time job and to really just coast on this. And so the more people keep subscribing, the more people keep buying patterns and shopping at my links and stuff like that. It's like, keep me home, people. Keep me home. And I can just keep doing this forever. I love it.
In the craft cave.
Yes, I love it.
How do you see everything that's on those shelves? Is there normally a light back there? Because it looks really dim.
Yeah, it is. It's dark back there. And right now, it's like every time I watch that stream, I keep thinking maybe I should put a curtain because it's just chaos back there. It's like
it's okay. I like the chaos.
But it looks like a shop. See, that's the thing.
Yeah, it does.
It adds some realism to your background.
I had a lot of fans that keep asking, "Hey Ted, what are you gonna do? When are you gonna do like a shop tour of your place?" Yeah. I said, "Yeah, here's the answer to that one." After seeing Kamui do her shop tour, I'm like, I'm never showing anybody my shop ever again.
Oh,
yeah.
Did you see how Germanly organized everything was?
Yeah,
I said, stop. It made me feel like I feel like a hack. I saw her shop. I'm like, okay, I'm not showing anybody my shop. Hell no.
It's so beautiful too.
It's so beautiful, and the shop is so amazing. I was like, no.
We actually, our last interview, which is going up on Monday, is with Kamui and Benny, and she did a shop tour for us too. And I'm just like,
it's so nice.
Can I just move there?
Yeah, and like I have a brand new shop. Like this is a brand new 2-story shop, but like it is. Do you know how much time it takes to organize? It took me forever just to paint this glitter wall.
I was watching that video when she posted it. Here's my shop tour, and I literally said out loud, "I hate you."
It's so like it's.
I was like, Camus, are you kidding me? Like she put that video up. I'm like, people are like, hey Ted, why don't you do one? I'm like, are you crazy? Hell no.
Yeah. And Frank's shop too. Like obviously Frank has people that help him like with the furniture and the organization, but like every one of Frank's tables had the brown paper pulled out and taped down. And I was like, oh my gosh.
I know, I laugh. Like, here's my shop tour. Yeah, here's a cardboard box. There's a couple of spare patterns in there. I don't really know what's in there, but I think it's something in there. And then over here, there's some hot glue sticks. Yeah, it'd be like a mess.
Yeah, at like any given time, I could just like grab a pile of junk that's like on my table. So, I mean, I don't know. There's too many foam scraps in my life. Like I don't understand where these people put their darn foam scraps. Like
number one, here's how I'll teach you what to do. There's a certain point where on foam scraps, this is my rule. I'm going to teach you this rule. Okay. If you want to, guys, you people out there, you cosplayers, if a foam scrap is about the size of your hand in that proximity, keep it. Anything smaller than that, throw it out.
Oh my gosh.
If it's not big,
size of my hand, okay.
If it's no bigger than your hand, throw it out.
All right, like this one. Would you keep this one?
Throw it out.
All right, let's go in the trash.
You're paying rent on it. If you have a space or a shop, it's taking up real estate. At a certain point, when this pile of crap or scrap is starting to get in your way, throw it out. You keep the pieces that are actually worth using. And I learned this really quickly working in the prop house and working in my shop, because I realized at a certain point where it's taking up real estate, and real estate is if it's not, it's taken away from something you need on a shelf or organization, and that pile of crap gets so big, I throw it out. I do it weekly. After a while, like, okay, I have scraps, and after a while, I go through them and go, throw them out. It's like, what is it really worth? Like, is it, no, throw it out.
I need to do that because I have, I mean, this is a problem for a lot of people. I have so many cosplay friends that just hold on to everything. And like, because
we're cheap. I understand it. We're all cheap. We have to curve. It's all about saving money. I understand. I feel you guys' pain. But you're still paying on rent and the space you're working in. If it starts to confront your working space and stop you from working, throw it out.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. It's quality of life thing.
Quality of life. Get in the habit of throwing it out. The reason I'm saying this is because I used to be a foam junkie. I'm a foam junkie. And I went to rehab. I got straightened out.
I don't know, man. You still seem like a little bit of a foam junkie to me.
I'm a foam junkie, but I have control. The control is.
I see.
How big is that scrap? Throw it out.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny because like I even have like one thing. So like mentioning being cheap. Like we all try to cut corners, even if it's a paid job. Like I still, even if I'm getting good materials, I still want the materials to go a long way because then you get to keep the extras for your next project. And it's an endless cycle. But I have things that like kill my soul to throw away, like expensive mixing cups with graduated, like those are expensive. Like TCP Global, actually, as I reach under here, for those of you watching, but those that aren't, it's a TCP Global mixing cup. And it's like nice and labeled. But these are so expensive, it's crazy. So I try to like crack it and peel it out and reuse the material or reuse the cup because this is worse than throwing away foam because it's little things like this that you need so many of. Like I could go through hundreds when I'm, casting stuff and like mixing.
I tell you what, if you want a little trick, you've seen the cans of mold release you can buy, little spray cans of mold release. Well, there you go. I'll tell you what, if you're that Dutch spray the inside of your cup.
Mm-hmm. Spray the inside of my cup with it? Oh, I was pointing to the mold release. I have some right there.
Yeah. You spray, just dust a little bit of mold release in your cup and let it dry. Dust it in and let it dry. And then when you do the resin and pour it in and let it kick off, it'll pop out easier. Okay.
We'll have to give that a try. Because some of them pop out, but like obviously, as you guys know, some materials are more sensitive than others, like Simpact. This is my first time using Simpact, and it is really sensitive. It hates everything. It hates moisture. It hates where I live. It hates it. It even recommends that you mix it in a cup and then remix it before you pour it. Put it in another clean cup again first.
Yeah.
Get out of here. That's another $1. You can't do that.
That's guys. Jackie, I used to do what you do professionally. I do with resins, castings.
Yeah.
I don't touch that stuff ever again. I'm so away from that stuff. I stay away from resins, plastic. And I always tell people, fans that write to me, oh my God, Ted, will you do things on casting or silicone? I go, nope. Check out my friend Bill over at Punish Props.
Yeah, I wondered.
I would. Yeah, I want to do
even like Epsilon Pro, which is 4-foam. You don't even haven't even dabbled with that, have you?
Ted is of the flexible foam church.
Yeah.
So
I will say that your technique for the floor racks, though, changed Liz's life. My best friend, Liz Brickley, her and I experiment with a lot of materials, and she did this. She loves this super shine. It's a cheap spray paint, but it looks like pure pigment. It's like a floral spray. It's beautiful, but no sealer that was a spray would work. Well, she's like, Evil Ted's using this floor wax. I'm going to try it. And sure enough, it worked and it kept the sheen. And she was so happy. She's like, I can't believe this. I'll never use anything other than floor wax ever again. And like, she had this floor wax for 7 years. And just like, she went into the closet and grabbed it and was like, well, he tried it or he uses it. So it can't ruin this. And she loves it. And it's like, man.
And it flexes because what it's acrylic. It's basically, what floor wax is acrylic for your floor, but it's acrylic and you put it on so thin that it flexes. So it's one of those, and I've learned other things from Bill. Bill has the stuff you can buy out of a can. It's they use it for painting. It's on his site, but I'm going to start putting it because I use it for Vampire D to keep the sheen on his armor. Mm-hmm. It's beautiful. It works like it's super durable and flexible.
What is
but that? Hold on.
I know what he's talking about, but I can't remember the name of it.
I had to have seen it in watching the videos, but my brain isn't retaining it.
It's a varnish. It's actually this brand. And I have it on my website, but I have a gloss, and they do a gloss and a matte finish. And the stuff is so cool about that. It's flexible because it's made for acrylic painting.
Oh my gosh!
When you're doing your paint, you spray it, and it seals it. The only thing I would tell people is the clear is super glossy. It's like brilliant. And if you want super shiny, you'll definitely get it. And the matte too it's got the matte's more of a semi satin finish. Yeah. But with this clear, it's so glossy that I would, if I ever use it again, I will spray this into a cup and shoot it through an airbrush so I can control it more. Okay. Because I wanted for D, I wanted shiny. It gave me shiny, but I would definitely want to have a little bit more control in the shiny. So I would definitely spray this into a cup and put it into my airbrush and then dust it on a little more evenly because it's super glossy, but it takes a little bit. It has a tendency to stay tacky longer because it comes out of a can. It goes on thick. So like it, I highly recommend it because Bill turned me on to this, and this did the trick for my family.
What's the name brand on that one?
Oh, this is Cumberbatch. Okay. As in the British actor Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
And it's Cumberbatch Gloss Brilliantizer.
I'm going to try that because I have a shelf full of sealers.
And another tip I have for people, and Ted, you might already do this, and Jackie, I don't know if you know this one or not, but if you're going to decant out of a spray can, if you spray it into a straw first and then through a straw into your cup you're spraying into, it comes out perfect and it doesn't shoot all over the place and blow back on you either. So, so anyway, that's a tip I picked up a while back, and it works really, really well. So
that's a brilliant idea.
It works great. It works great because otherwise, if you have it, in your can right there, and you're spraying, and it like shoots all the way, and you have to hold it back, and then you fold it back too far, and you spray your hand, and
Yeah, so, it is. Yeah, it's a mess.
Just a standard old drinking straw. Shoot it through that. It decants it perfect. So
nice.
There you go.
I'll try that.
I can't remember. I didn't make that up myself. Somebody taught that one to me, but I can't remember who it was.
Again, this reiterates my point. Just when you think you've known everything, I learned something today. That's super awesome.
You want to go try it now, don't you? I know you do.
Yeah, I do. It's brilliant. Here's the scary thing. You learn so much that I'm afraid I'm going to lose something else. Like you push more crap in, I'm going to lose something else. It's like, I got to write all this stuff down. I'm going to forget this. Yeah. Next time I get around forget it. So
sometimes
get a big whiteboard in your shop, and then that way you can just write little keynotes of things on the whiteboard. I do that all the time. Like every time I watch a video, I'll write something on my whiteboard. Like for the longest time, I had shellac mixed with bronze powder. because that's what I saw in this this minifigure video from Weta Workshop that Adam Savage did a tour of. They'd mixed the actual metal pigment in shellac and brushed it onto these little figures, and it looked amazing.
Yeah, it looked really cool.
Yeah, and I thought, why have I never tried that? Of course I can mix it in shellac, like, because you can mix that pigment in all kinds of things, and it's I don't know, I want to try it because it looked so metallic, and it was really good for a rust effect too, because he mixed like the rust pigment. Man, it was neat. So I don't know. I always write down little tips and try not to forget them, but eventually they get erased, and hopefully I've stored it and seen it enough by then.
Well, as we're talking, I'm trying to think of anything I want to cover. Anything else? Is there any other burning questions? I'm trying to think what else you guys would want to.
Do you have any favorite paints, like, or are you just kind of whatever works?
No, I do have favorite paints. I actually talk about this in my streams a lot. There's a Japanese brand called Tamiya.
Yeah, I love the Tamiya. Yeah,
the Tamiya brands, and people they're made for model kits, but the pigments in them are amazing. They're super strong. Right there.
Yeah, I have some. I have like 50 of them right here on my desk.
Yeah,
I have one silver. That's it. So
yeah, the Japanese company makes them. It's quality. People find in the craft stores. Might be a little rich for people's blood, but it's definitely worth it because one jar goes a long way. Mm-hmm. I love using this with an airbrush, with a brush, mostly detailing work. And acrylic, I like to work with a Cratex is a great acrylic paint, but also I'm based here in California. It's called Nova Colors, and they're the same thing. They do acrylic paints, but their acrylic, what makes their acrylic so amazing, it's like with Tamiya, is the pigment's so strong that it takes very minimum coats to paint. So I like to do that with all my base. Like Dee was painted with Nova colors and all the acrylics. Angela's paints for leathers. That's another great color, and I like that.
Yeah,
and that's great for like bright colors like blue. I helped Brap make a costume for he wanted to be Nightwing. And it was all done in black, so it's all black tool dip. And he had this Nightwing chest on his chest. I'm like going, and it had to be blue. I'm like, oh, you can't. I ain't got time to mask. We had no time to mask it. So I literally took Angela's paints and a brush and I painted the blue on there. I only did like maybe 2 thin coats and it was perfect.
Yeah,
it covers.
Their yellow is like
really,
that too.
really well.
Yeah, right on top of black. It was amazing. Yeah. Angela, and also another color too. I just got sent to me. I have some samples. I'm experiment with. It's called Flex Paint. They're based in England. They're basically a flexible paint, and their missions are basically catering to the cosplayers. They sent me some sample colors. I'm going to do some mixes with. Hold on, let me grab I have a bottle right here.
I find that if I need a paint to be extremely flexible, I have this like textile medium that I'll mix in sometimes. Like if I'm worried about it cracking, like Angela's, you don't have to worry about it. I mean, that stuff is so flexible, it's crazy. Right. But like that textile medium works well.
This is the stuff that's called flex paint.
Flex paint, huh?
And it's the cool thing about it,
it's an acrylic.
It's highly flexible. It's non-toxic. It's air drying and water based, and it's latex free.
Crazy.
You can brush it on and spray it on. And I was like, really? Wow. And they sent this bottle to me. So they sent me some silver, black, and I finally got excited. I thought for Madam Hydra, their silver is really impressive because it's liquid, it's water based, but when it looks like it's gray, but when you paint it dries, it's got this real super strong metallic sheen. Wow. And I was like, So what I did was I ordered their green. So when the green gets here, I'm going to mix their green with their silver and play with it a little bit and spray it. So if it works, I'm going to paint Madam Hydra with it.
Oh, that'd be interesting to see how it turns out. I'm always looking for new metallics.
Yeah, me too. I'm too. I want to do stuff metallic, but on a larger scale.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And when you start getting on a larger scale with metallics, you have cracking. Nothing really works as good.
Yeah. Well, and specifically for like foam, metallics for foam or something that's flexible. Because right now my favorite metallic is the all clads, which are a lacquer, which look amazing, but you really have to use them on hard surfaces. Yeah. You really can't use it. I mean, you could use maybe a slight overspray on foam, Well,
one of my tricks I tell people is that if you want something super shiny, I've done this plenty of times, again, is that you paint something with your acrylic silvers, and when it's all done, then you take chrome spray paint, the little bright chrome, and you stand back and you dust it. Don't lay it on heavy, because what the chrome spray paint has these little particle flakes in it, And the particle flakes is what you want, but you don't want to put it on heavy. So once you paint your base color with your acrylic silver, you stand back and you dust it with your chrome spray paint, and the reflective chrome little things will go on there, and they'll stick because it's spray paint. And it's not heavy enough, so you just highlight it, and man, it does the trick. It gives it that real chromy sheen without – you'll give these little high metallic highlights on it without coating too heavy.
Yeah, that's also a good trick, too, if you're using one that you want to seal, and the seal – because we all know that, especially on chrome-type stuff, the sealer just completely kills the sheen. And I've done that before, too, where you do the sealer on top of it and then go back over it again, like with an overspray, and that works pretty well, too.
There's something I want to mention that I wish that there was someone out there that could formulate this in a larger scale that cured a different way. So this is, I'm going to show the camera people, the people listening, this is extremely crazy, shiny nail powder over a UV gel top coat. This is no sanding, no filler. It's plain stretched Worbla. And like, look at that. I mean, it's worth going to the video just to see this. It's crazy shiny, but it's a gel nail polish top coat. So I stuck this under a UV light and cured it. And then I used my finger, dipped it in the powder, and rubbed the powder on it. So it's sealed on there. And it's extremely flexible because it's on your nails. It's so crazy. Like, I wish that they could formulate
I'll tell you what. Have you seen my Alita Battle Angel cosplay I did with Holly Conrad?
Yeah.
Okay, her arms. You see her chrome shiny arms I did for her?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
What I did was I had those arms. You actually watched the video. I had the video. I talk about it in detail. What it was on the video is I did make in black rubber and painted with black Sims, like black acrylic. And then there's a stuff called Sims. It's a flexible clear, high gloss flexible clear. It's flexible. So I sprayed the arms with glossy. So the arms are glossy black. Mm-hmm. And I went back over it with this stuff called Alumoluster. It's basically like chrome. So it makes the arms like chrome. Mm-hmm. You shoot through an airbrush, and the trick is it all works really well, but it's really expensive.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's pricey.
That was the downside to the whole entire project. I did it, and I actually had access to some of the stuff. And when I made the video, I knew I had to give links to it because people are going to ask me, but I didn't want to break their hearts. I told them in the video, but hey guys, really quickly, heads up. If you go to click on this link, it's expensive.
It's in the hundreds, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's ridiculous for what they want for this paint. But it's like, it depends. If you want to do something shiny, you can do it in small portions, but overall. It worked for Alita's arms, but it was like cool, but wow, expensive. So I'm like you. I'm looking for a way to do there's a guy based out of Vegas, in Nevada, that has this chroming technique he does on like making things chrome, but without doing the plating technique. He does it with this spray gun thing, and he actually plated foam. He actually put chrome on foam, and it was flexible. And Bill and I saw it, and we're like, wow, it's super cool. So I might collaborate with him if I come up with a project that I want to do something that's chrome. Yeah. That's foam, but I haven't really got anything yet. But if I did, it'd be pretty insane. But
I wonder what he did.
It's matter of fact, it's called a chrome effects or the chrome guy. I think he might be on Instagram.
Or he's kind of got his own process, right?
Yeah, he's got his own process. So it's
I think I remember seeing the video about that because it's like it looks like chrome plating, and then all of a sudden he just flexes, he just bends it, and you're like, whoa.
I love that. That's so cool.
So that's super cool. Granted, that's his technique, his process. Not
are you a Battlestar Galactica fan at all?
A huge one, yeah.
Well, maybe you should make a Cylon. Maybe you should make a Cylon. That would be awesome.
It would be, but it's. I like the reboot much better than the original. So if I did a Cylon, I would do one of the new ones.
We'll do a new one then.
Yeah.
I'll say the same thing like Bill always says. Like I do, but I have a huge list of things I want to build already.
I know.
Are you going to BlizzCon this year again, Ted?
A matter of fact, here's the thing. I'm going to shout out to everybody out there. I'm going to be there if it kills me. I didn't get tickets like everybody else. I did the whole ticket thing, and I didn't get tickets because we all got in.
I didn't either, but I plan on being there. So
I'm still going. Yeah,
I'm still going. But my mission is I'm going to get tickets if it kills me. I'm going to get tickets for me and my assistant, Brap. We have to go. I'm going to dress up in a costume. She's going to be my handler. I want to hang out with my friends. I want to drink beer and eat bad food.
So basically last year.
Yeah, I want to do exactly what I wanted last year.
Are you going to make a new costume?
Yes, ma'am.
What are you making? Oh my gosh, Ted!
I'll give you one little hint.
Oh my gosh, okay.
It has horns, and that's it.
Illidan?
What did I just say? I said I'll give you one hint.
That's it. That's all you get, Jackie.
That's all you get, Jackie.
Yeah. So many things have horns.
Well,
there you go.
Yeah.
I want to know so badly. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm guessing it's from World of Warcraft then, or Diablo. You have to understand. I love Blizzard. It's my favorite. I love all of their stuff.
Well, I tell you what, I didn't know how much I love Blizzard until I went last year, and now it's like my favorite con. And now I got friends. I got friends tell me. I have people tell me, Ted, have you gone to Dragon Con? I said, no, but I will. They go, well, it's going to be your new one. Trust me. People keep telling me Dragon Con is going to replace.
Well, okay, Dragon Con is different though. BlizzCon to me is like I don't know, it kind of feels like Disneyland for gaming nerds. Like it's very well put together. The lights are low, the vibe. Dragon Con is 100% a party con. It's a big grown-up party. So like they're apples and oranges. So you have to it's different reasons. But BlizzCon's definitely like a theme park because they have everything themed. It's really cute. And even like the food trucks lining up all are themed with special food things. And so Dragon Con is just where adults go to, it's like a big old reunion kind of thing.
Well, granted, now I guess that BlizzCon was that for me, but just to drive you even crazier, Jackie, I'm working on another secret costume for Dragon Con. Are you going to Dragon Con this year?
Oh, wait, I already know about your secret Dragon Con costume because you told me.
Oh, that's right.
Remember?
Yeah. I did. That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't worry, I'll never tell anyone, but I am really excited. I offer to be your film crew, but I hear Bill's gonna do some filming for you. So
yeah, I know. I want to shoot too. I want to make because I got basically the mission's gonna be to get back after Dragon Con and get my video up before Bill gets his up. So
yeah, you gotta beat Bill.
I'm trying to beat Bill at a video is gonna be next to impossible.
That's gonna be tough.
That guy is a machine.
I don't understand it. It blows my mind.
He's so fast that Camus and Benny were both like, hey, you might want to slow down the videos.
Dude, he puts up so much content. It's crazy. I mean, he's almost at 200,000 YouTube subs. I saw yesterday. I was like, wow, Bill. Yeah,
Bill is the YouTube god. He's my inspiration. He's a dear friend. I like the guy a lot. He's been a huge support for me. And I always tell people that I love that Bill and I, we get compared a lot because we're Bill and Ted. So the going joke of Bill.
How have I never thought that until now? Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Bill and Ted's excellent cosplay adventures.
So anytime Bill and I are together, we do videos, and we always call it the Bill and Ted's is like journey or adventure or something.
Yeah.
But Bill's great. He's been nothing but super supportive. He's been helping me a lot, and I'm learning so much from him. And Bill's got me cutting my live streams into videos, but I realize I've got to work out some kind of a system to where I can do that and get my and still get my Evil Ted channel videos up. So that's going to be my. So I'm going to be scripting this week to get my next video up. So
that's what that assistant can do. You trade off for the costume. Be like, I'll make you some costumes. You edit and put my videos together.
if she only knew how, I would.
She's young. Young people learn really fast.
That's right. She's very computer capable. So
oh my God,
I'm sure. I put my money on Brap. I think she can do it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I throw that poor girl on the bus. I'm just trying to think anything else you guys want to any big thing we want to cover.
Are you doing other big cons? Just to ask, since they're all coming up, are you going to San Diego Comic-Con? Because I know last year you went. Are you going this year?
Here's the thing with San Diego Comic-Con. It's like this is old man Ted talking.
Yeah.
Holy crap! I could like.
Oh,
it was
I know.
I felt like I was on a Japanese subway. It was like
crazy.
There was so many damn people to the point where I couldn't move left or right. I was so packed in, and I was just trying to I was trying to find you on that floor.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is ridiculous. And then finally, both my buddy Aaron and I were like, let's go find a bar and have a drink. So we came out. I was not going to go. I didn't plan on going. There was a con. There was a panel about kaiju monsters and Japanese monsters, and they found out that I did the American. I did an Ultraman. That is American Ultraman. I did props for that show. I did the helmets and guns and props for Ultraman, and I worked on Guyver and Guyver 2. So they're big Japanese monster movies. So they said, "Hey, will you come on to this panel?" So they gave me a ticket and a hotel room. So my buddy Aaron,
awesome.
we dropped. I'm like, Yeah, we went. But I thought that's the only way I would go if somebody gives me a ticket and a place to stay. Other than that, I am not going. It's too crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Yeah, that's understandable.
It's too expensive. The tables are thousands of dollars. It's huge business. Cool. Hollywood took over. It's so out of control.
I hate to say this, but I equated San Diego to Dragon Con as far as the crowd. Dragon Con is just as bad, if not worse.
Yeah, but for me with Dragon Con, at least it's people dressed up and drinking. It's like
it's different. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, it's a different core bag, and I just want to hang out with other costumers and builders and bring our A game, and I'll hang out and just ask each other questions. And
there's so many cool makers. And I will say it's hard to find people at Dragon Con, but it's not as hard as San Diego. Like, it was hard for us to just find each other, and that's crazy to me because it was, it's big, but it's still contained. But it's just because you can't get places very conveniently. The nice thing about Dragon Con is everybody can at least hang out in like a hotel, and you can find everybody there. So it's not too bad. And you pass each other a lot in the little tiny halls and stuff. So I could see why people would. Why there's appeal. I might be there, so. I talk about it, but if I'm going to be there.
Ted, since this was your first year to come up to Seattle for Emerald City Comic Con, which is my kind of hometown con, I was curious what your opinion of that was.
So loved it so much. I will be back next year.
Awesome.
Oh my gosh!
I'm
going next year if it kills.
Matter of fact,
yes, you must come out, Jackie.
I am. I'm coming next year, no matter what. I'm planning it already. So
the quality of the costumes, the fans, the people, and just alone, just to come out and hang out with you guys alone, all my fellow building friends, it was so when Bill and Britt and the hospitality was so great. But even Bill and Britt and I were like, yeah, next year we're gonna get a hotel room because it was just driving there and parking and dealing with parking and fiasco.
Parking there is definitely an issue. So
I think even Bill and I were like looked at each other and were like hotel rooms next year. So I'm gonna get a room next year because I want to do it. But there's times I was so exhausted and wiped out that if I had a room I could take a nap at, it would have been perfect. So
just to go up to your room and just sit down and rest for a little bit. I enjoy doing that. I take the costume off and just rest for a minute and then put it all back on.
Yeah, and you weren't even. Oh, actually, you did do Bill's Mass Effect armor one for part of it. Was it all day or just part of a day or?
It was all day Sunday.
All day.
I did Sunday.
That's right. What number were you?
I just love all the people that have worn that. It's crazy.
I was number 22.
Number 22. So
number 22.
Before that costume falls apart, a sitting U.S. president will have worn it. Like everyone wears that. It's crazy.
Just a heads up for everybody. I wore that suit. That thing is not falling apart.
No,
Bill did such a fantastic job putting that thing together. He built it to last. So.
Well, and I have to say I'm very jealous because I want to be one of the numbers, but it doesn't fit me. So
it won't fit me.
It makes me very sad.
I don't think the chest would ever fit on my body. I mean, I could try, but I'd have to tape myself down. Well,
for all the armor to fit and everything, it relies on an undersuit, just like most armored costumes do. And I'm just too big. I'm a different.
What do you mean it relies on an undersuit?
Well, it has the undersuit where the Velcro thing's attached to it.
Oh, right. That's
okay. I don't have any costumes like that. So
the armor itself would probably work for me, but the suit underneath that kind of keeps everything where it's supposed to be is not. I mean, we're just completely different shapes and sizes as far as
I gotcha.
Our anatomy goes. So I'm like a foot taller than him.
I was curious, guys. How long is your podcast? How long?
We're wrapping. We're wrapping up.
Yeah, it's about time to wrap up.
We're just keeping you hostage.
Yeah, we do.
I said, this is like 2 hours. You guys do a pretty elaborate podcast. That's awesome.
For guests, we've been keeping it around an hour and a half. So
yeah. So we're gonna let you go, but I'm sure that we could talk forever about all kinds of things. But before we go, we need to mention again all the different places that people can find you and where to support you. Even like Amazon affiliate links. Like if they click on the Amazon link off your site, that's still supporting you in some way. So
that's correct. All right, guys, here I'll go down the list here. We got go to my website. Of course, you have eviltedsmith.com. Go there. You can go to you can get me on Twitter at evilted40. You can get me on Instagram at evilted_channel. On Facebook, I actually have a Evil Ted Facebook page, just Evil Ted.
And then sub on YouTube and go watch the YouTube videos, give them lots of likes.
Definitely.
And Twitch, obviously.
Yeah, Twitch. Twitch is fun, guys. Twitch is it's Evil Ted Smith. It's twitch.tv/eviltedsmith on Twitch. And again, I stream Mondays and Tuesdays from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Times. I stream on Thursdays from noon to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Again, people, it's so great. If you want to ask me questions or interact or have any burning, want to chat, come in. And now it's so cool is that not only will you learn something, you'll make new friends. There's some great creative people in there. It's super cool.
To bring your questions.
It's super cool. And don't forget, guys, again, go to my website, get on my mailing list, because I always do my weekly emails where I'm going to be and what's going on next. And I have a thing called Fan Photo Friday. So for people who built costumes from watching my videos, submit a picture, and it gets selected. I'll post you on Friday, and I'll put links up for your YouTube or your channel or your Instagram, what do you want to be followed on. I'll post it as well.
Yeah.
A big shout.
If you're looking to build a costume, his patterns are a really great place to start, guys. So I would definitely recommend it. I have altered his patterns to fit my size body. And my brother's costume for Katsucon that all of you guys saw, the full set of armor, that's Ted's arms, that's Ted's shoulders altered, that's Ted's chest piece altered, that's Ted's helmet pattern with a front face mask. So you can adapt his patterns to anything. So
thank you so much. Yeah, good. Yeah. And shopping, just go to the Amazon link. It's on my site. And it's no science, guys. Just go to the link, and when you click on the Amazon link, it'll take you to your account. But if you go through my link, I just get credit for that. So it's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it was definitely a pleasure to have you on the podcast. Thank you so much for being here and contributing to Crafting Geek. And I think that's it for the episode. So
and
guys, thank you so much. Again, this is a wonderful. I can't wait to hang out with you guys in real life. So it'll be wonderful.
Oh my gosh,
Absolutely.
Yes, it's gonna be so fun. I hope to see you at. I'm gonna find you at Dragon Con. So I'm excited. I can't wait to see that costume.
All right, fantastic. Thank you.
All right. Awesome. Well, thank you everyone, and that's it for this week of Crafting Geek.
Yay!
Yay!
Bye, guys.